Hello. Can everyone hear me? If someone can just drop in the chat. Yes, amazing. All right, welcome everybody. Thank you, Christina, for starting us off. Welcome to the Rooted and Rested session. I don't want to call it a workshop, but I'm excited to have all of you here. While we wait maybe another minute, if you can drop in the chat where you are tuning in from. And also note that the recording will be shared publicly on the Her Way Home Substack, essentially for people who have registered. Which means if you want to keep your video off, that's fine, but it would be lovely to see your faces because then it just becomes more human. So just wanted to let everybody know that. And we have someone from Espoo, which is also in Finland, Helsinki, Lahti, a lot of Finnish people, which is nice. Helsinki. Oh, wow. I was expecting maybe more Indian people, but there's also a lot of people from Finland, which is exciting. Okay, let's jump in. I want to start with just introducing myself. I think I know everybody here, but just in case you don't know me, I'm Pukraj. I am from India, currently living in Finland. It has been 10 years when I moved here, so it's been a long time. I consider myself partly Finnish now. Um, I worked in the education sector and I call myself an educator turned soulpreneur because I feel like I'm always looking for um, like avenues and platforms where I can do more soul aligned work. Some of you might know me from my previous company, which was a slow fashion brand where I worked with artisans across India. But before that, I worked as an educator and a teacher trainer, and that's also what brought me to Finland. Currently, I'm in my new mommy era, is what I'm calling it. Tomorrow, my daughter turns 2 months old, so it's all very new, still learning, very exciting. And you can see a little picture um, up there. I'm also in an intercultural family, which, if any of you are in one, it's a constant learning journey. But yeah, so one of the things that's been constant forever has been my love for women, and I'm forever in my sisterhood era. When I started my company, I worked with women. All our models were friends and other girlfriends. And um, as I decided to take a break from my company, I wanted to realign and see the kind of work that I wanted to do. And it brought me back to sisterhood and what I wanted to do. But also, it's interesting, I think, while talking to other women, realized what the COVID portal did to a lot of us. I don't know if this is true for you, but if it is, please do share in the chat. But for me, this was the time when I started a company and closed it down. It's a time where a lot of health issues came up, trying to tell me that what I was doing wasn't maybe aligned to my soul's purpose. It was also the time I got a lot of support from my friends and family. And I definitely found myself leaning more into more feminine practices. I call it now more regenerative leadership practices because I feel like that's what's true for women, but and which is kind of a balance of both feminine and masculine. But I found myself leaning into those practices more and more and do my healing journey. Um, so much so that right now, as you can see, I have, in a very happy place. I have a happy family, and I'm creating something new. And I'm very excited that all of you could join. Um, but one of the biggest lessons in this journey has been that all the answers that I was looking for was always within me. Um, if you are like me, you've tried to find answers externally, maybe through coaches, watching videos, doing webinars, and more, I figured that whatever we're seeking we already know. Maybe we're not in a place to listen to ourselves, or we're too scared of there's fear of some sort or anxiety of some sort that you are not able to listen to your inner voice. And that's kind of what I've done over the last, I want to say, 1 year, trying to re-listen and find um, meaning and create meaning of what I want from my life. And this session, workshop, I still don't know what to call it, is essentially a window, a start of that. Um, I wanted to put it out there just so that it becomes even more real. I want to, in this new chapter of life, create a sisterhood of courageous, purpose-led women who are ready to reclaim authorship of their time, energy, and choices. I feel like that's something that I've learned for myself, that we need to control our own actions, our own, where we spend our time, where we spend our energy, and who we allow into our circle. And I wanted to start this by creating a Substack where I shared more about my learnings, but slowly I want to invite more and more women in and create spaces where we can collectively do this work. So I'm very excited that you all are here, and also very grateful. Thank you for taking the time out. Um, and yeah, hopefully the session is exciting enough that we would want to spend more time together. Um, but as I said, this is not a workshop, even though I can't figure out another word for it. But hopefully it's a window into the sisterhood that I'm trying to create. And today there's no agenda. The idea is to spend time in community. You can be on your own, which you are, but also be in a collective space and reflect on how you're feeling at this point in time. This is also the season when a lot of people start to feel anxiety or stressed because you're going back to work. In Finland, it's August. Everyone's come back to the city, although summer holidays are over, and everyone's trying to now hustle till the end of year, which can cause a lot of, questions or just overwhelm. So hopefully today is a space where you can do some journaling along with other women and my father, who's also here. And then we can maybe find ways to continue this relationship if it is aligned to what you're looking for. Okay, that was all a little introduction for myself, but I wanted to not spend too much time talking, but more time writing, because I feel like that's why we're here. So I would invite all of you to close that door, pull out that journal if you haven't already, and open your heart, because whatever will pour out, hopefully will give some insights and next steps for you in this new season. All right, if everyone's ready, can I get a yes? Because on the chat, so I know we're ready to go. Amazing. I got a yes. I got a heart. I got another yes. All righty. Okay. So the way I've designed this session is in two parts. So there's 15 minutes of some prompts that you will reflect on, and then another 15 minutes for another set of prompts. So we'll spend 30 minutes journaling. So I will just play music. You will have time to journal at your own pace. And then we will close by integrating just some of the reflections that come through. I would love to hear from some of you if anyone's gutsy enough to share. And then we will close the session out. So it's going to be purely journal. But if there is something that you would like to share, then there will be space for that as well. Okay, so let's begin. I will start the music just so we have some music at the background. Right. I hope everyone can hear the music. And I invite all of us to just take this moment, next 15 minutes, to let it all out. Some of the guiding questions that you can reflect on is what season of life am I returning from? So I know there are people in different phases. Some might be just coming back from summer holidays, but some might be making bigger transitions in life. So you could kind of reflect on how you're feeling about this return, what's making you anxious or unsettled about this return, what are you afraid might happen, what stories or expectations are you carrying, and are they true or are you telling yourself that they are? So these are just guiding questions, but the idea is to let out how you're feeling over the next 15 minutes. So I will mute myself and I'll come back to give a 5-minute warning and a 2-minute warning. But now you can take the next 15 minutes to journal. All right. Hi everyone. 5 more minutes or just closing your writing. Two more minutes. Okay. I hope everyone got some time to journal. Um, the reason I like to start all my journaling sessions just vomiting on the journal is because it helps get everything out that I've been thinking. I already wrote too many words about, how I've been feeling myself, even though as if you have read my posts, I'm still in maternity leave, but I feel the need to be productive because I see everybody around me being productive and, sharing their goals and sharing where they want to be by the end of year. So I hope it at least helped me to write all those thoughts down. So I hope everyone got a chance to write down um, what kind of expectations they're carrying and what kind of weight they're putting on themselves. We'll continue for another 15 minutes, but now we'll try to reframe these conversations that we have with ourselves because, again, I believe that we have all the answers in somewhere deep inside and we're just not having productive conversations with ourselves. So hopefully the next set of prompts will help with that. um, so we'll spend another 15 minutes and some guiding questions. You can use whatever works for you or just free write. Um, think about what's true about you that you might be forgetting right now. In this part of transition, what is being called of you? What are you being, where are you growing or stretching? And then how do you want to feel in this new season? Um, it would be nice to kind of create an understanding for yourself. How do you want a more gentle, grounded return to look like for you? So we'll spend another 15 minutes trying to unpack this. Um, Great point, Christina. I can put it in the chat as well. Okay, so I will do that, but you guys can start writing. 15 minutes. 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. Two more minutes. Okay, so that's the time we have. I hope everyone found it useful to reframe certain thoughts that we have in our minds, which are not always helpful. I would love to invite some of you to share um, what came up. I'm happy to share myself, but I want to open up the floor a little bit because I would love to hear what people were thinking about. And yes, thank you for sharing your screens as well and like showing me your face so I don't feel like I'm talking to the walls. Um, but yeah, maybe this quote also helps. I thought this was really meaningful to remember that we are all here to serve as a vessel, to be messengers for one another. And maybe someone is waiting to hear your words. So, with that, if anyone wants to share how they're feeling after this 30 minutes of guided journaling, what came up, I would be more than happy to hear.
Yeah, I can share.
Yes, Jessie, thank you.
You're welcome. I also love this quote, and it reminded me of something that I don't even know where I heard or read it, but where somebody said, like, oh, it has already been said before, like so many times, like, why should I speak, right? And then the answer is like, it might have been said before, but some people need to hear it from you.
Yes.
And that has reigned very true for me in my life, that like, sure, the message might be out there, but some people need to hear it from you. So
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, what came up for me, I think I just went back to work yesterday after summer holidays, and I have my own business. I work freelance, and I realized that I have all of these worries coming up again of like, it's going to be too much work. Like, I have a lot of clients, I have a lot of work, and I'm worried again that like I just can't do all of that work, and it's going to get hectic, and clients are going to be like, I need this tomorrow, can you get it done? And like, I'm going to struggle with saying no, because, well, like, they're my clients, they bring me money, you know. And it kind of reminded me that I have this very old story that I think comes from like having like immigrant parents, that, or like just a certain type of parent. But it's like this story of like, oh, it has to be hard, like, to be worthwhile, you know. And like, it can't come with ease. Like, you have to work hard, because only if you work hard are you gonna make it somewhere. And I can see myself like still having that mindset in my freelance business, where I feel like I'm making it harder for myself by bending for everybody and like being everything for everyone, you know, instead of like doing the things that I enjoy, and like working with clients that are easy to work with, you know, and then like letting go of the ones that are just stressful or too much, or, you know. And one of the things that came up, because you asked what part of this transition might be calling me to grow or stretch, and this is something that I've been thinking out a lot about, this idea of growing. And there's a really beautiful German song, and it's called like, everybody's growing, but I want to flourish. And like, that's kind of what came up for me, because like, I'm a bit done growing. Look, I've grown so much. Like, I've done like years of therapy and coaching and everything, and like, you know, so like, I like, in that moment I felt, I don't need to grow, it's fine. Like, now it's more like getting back to things that are good for me. And I wrote down like cutting away what isn't serving me.
Mm-hmm.
So in my concrete case, I think that means like cutting away clients that are just not worth the money they're bringing at the moment. And then saying like, how do I want to feel this in this new season? I also wrote down like nourished, because that is such an important thing for me right now, to feel like nourished in all the ways of the word, like through food, of course, but also through like how you are in interaction with your body. Like, do you feel like restored? And yeah, so for me at the moment, I think that means going back to swimming. My partner and I used to go swimming once or twice a week, and we have dropped it for a while now because we had both very stressful springs. So I'm hoping to go back to the swimming, and also making sure that like during the day I have things that do nourish me and that feel like they give me energy throughout the day. And so it just feels easier to work.
Amazing. Thank you, Jessie, for sharing. And yeah, I have so much to say because having been an entrepreneur myself, I completely understand the pressure that you're putting on yourself, and we all do it, even if you're not an entrepreneur. If you're in a job, you have a dream, you have a career that you want to progress in, so you do carry a lot of that weight. And yeah, my invitation is exactly what you already said, is stay nourished, find ways to
Mm.
nourish yourself. And I think it's also something as simple as what you said, swimming, right? Like it can just be the one day a week, or every other day in the evening after work, just nourishing yourself with a small act like going with your partner for a 1 hour swimming break. And I think that's kind of how I'm seeing my role in the future as well, is just letting the women in my circle find answers for themselves, because you already have the answers. The
Mm.
thing isn't that you don't know what to do. It's more about, are you doing it, or are you going to do it? And can we in community remind each other that, hey, you already know the answers. You already know which clients to cut. You already know what
Yeah.
activities to do. So just now do it. And there are other sisters in the background cheering you on. So, but thank you so much for sharing. And I hope that helps some other people here, or the ones who will be listening to the recording later. Thank you.
Yeah,
Anyone?
thank you.
Yes, anyone else wants to share? Sana, go for it. Can you unmute yourself? Let me see. Oh, yeah, there you go.
You hear me now? Yes, so thank you. This was very wonderful. Actually, very, very good. And so I'm grateful. And yes, it raised me and I realized lots of things. I wrote like many, many pages. And I realized that I'm coming out of the season of transition of maybe 5 years. That I
Mm-hmm.
haven't known my story. So it's been long. And now when you are good in your life, and in a good position, and you see what the happiness is, and you feel safe and good and in love, and then there's a moment when you feel that now it's the moment when you bring your real work out. Like me, I'm launching my website and bringing, and I've always been afraid of being seen, and also because of coming with my from the very religious northern family, there was sort of shame of being seen, like you have to be sort of invisible but perfect in a way. So realizing that I'm carrying all those motherland things, and I've been always afraid that I shame people around me or who are close to me. And then when I wrote the second part of your questions,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'm actually what I'm afraid that I just have to that I'm afraid of being seen, because maybe it's because I have to assume my work.
Hmm.
That there's something that I have always felt I can do it a little bit better. I have all these projects in the hard drives. I can still define them maybe one more year, or I can change the place of the point here, or I can put the pictures in a different order, I can edit this. But now I just have to start putting it out. So that is very scary part. So
Mm-hmm.
that's that one. And I realize what I want to do for that is that it takes some loving discipline also to do that, and the structure that there is. And having 3 kids, you have to have the structures in a life, and they can be very kind and soft love structures.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's scary to be happy. It's scary to say that you're happy, and it's scary also to put it out there. But I'm trying to learn to enjoy it and realize that I will not put other people's shame around me, because if it's my personal work as an artist, you have to be true and put the true work out. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's been very good session to write. I'm very grateful.
Thank you, Sanna. And I think, yeah, women go through, I think this need to be perfect is not just something you face. I feel like the more and more women I talk with, it's such a common, fear. And honestly, I wrote it down now in my own journal as well. But I think the only way the fear goes away is by showing up for yourself and putting yourself out there and being with love. Because I think, yeah, there's no other way. And you
Yeah,
just keep doing it.
it's funny when you start to open yourself, then there are these bridges that comes there.
Yes, exactly. And the
Long as
structures will come.
in your thoughts, they become sort of scary ghosts and fears, and you're like, no, 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 no.
Yes, yeah. No, but the world needs to see all your beautiful art. So we're excited for this new transition, new phase after 5 years. Thank you for sharing. Amazing. Okay, I'm just gonna look at the time. I can share maybe mine unless someone else wants to share. And you can. I don't have to share mine. I can write it later. Anyone else? Okay. I will share mine briefly because I just want to be honest and as vulnerable as I can, just for my own self, but also hopefully it helps others. Um, the first part where I was letting out, I wrote a lot of kind of mean things to myself because I felt like I started the session quite overwhelmed. I have a 2-month-old baby, as I said, and she woke up right when the session started, and I could hear her crying outside, and I got completely frazzled. So now, just reading through, I wrote a lot that it wasn't as perfect as I wanted it to be, and I didn't get to say what I wanted to say about the sisterhood that I want to create and why I want to create it, and a lot of fear around not being seen as someone who knows what they're doing or someone who can facilitate a sisterhood, even though I have facilitated many, many groups in my life and I've worked in education and personal development fields and done a lot of work with people. But it's funny how it comes up again and again when you are in a vulnerable position. But what helped was the second half, and which is why I advocate for reframing and rooting ourselves in our truth so much, because deep inside we all are enough, and I'm enough and you're enough, and you know moments can be up and down and you can feel what you feel, um, but I don't know, I don't want to say you, I want to say I. Okay, but yeah, I want to just read what I wrote for the question, what's true for me. And I wrote that what is true is that I care. I want to see a world where women can trust their voice, where they can show up in all their colors. They can be bold or confused. They can be messy and joyous. And I know I want to be part of that story, women's story. So this new phase is inviting me to stretch and go deep within. It's asking me to show up even when I feel uncertain or overwhelmed. It's asking me to trust. So just wanted to share that because I don't know if you found my nerves in the beginning of this session, but I definitely was feeling it. Um, But yeah, we just keep going. We just keep showing up for our dreams and for ourselves, and things will fall in place. All right. I think I want to just close the session because I don't want to take too much time with just a few things. One is an invitation for everyone here, everyone who's watching the recording. As I said, I want to be part of women's stories, especially where um, they get to reach their potential, whatever that means for you, where it could mean freedom, it could mean money, it could be whatever. Um, and I want to be the person who can hold the mirror up for you, who can help facilitate connections, who can, hold spaces like this so you can come to your own answers. The blog that I started, it was called Her Way Home because it was me reminding myself that to move forward, I have to find myself first. And now I want to open that space for other women. I will launch a more paid membership model of it end of this year, but until then, everything is free. So you can stay in touch, join the community. I write love letters every week, or I try. And my hope is that I can host spaces like this often so that we can also meet. On that note, actually, I know at least Hannah, before she was leaving, said that she would like to meet again. Is there something you would be interested in? Maybe once a month, just coming together to journal. I see a thumbs up. If you want to say yes, just if you can put it on the chat so I can feel the yes. Okay, one more yes, one heart, one yes. Okay, amazing. Yes, big yes. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, these will just be for us to come together and just find time for ourselves. So thank you so much for saying yes and also being here. And hopefully I won't be that nervous next time. Yeah, so I know at the registration, maybe some of you have already answered, but if you haven't, please go explore Her Way Home on Substack, which is where the community will stay. And then a request. This is something that I've been talking about recently. I've been thinking about it for a long time, but I just, again, felt the pressure of, do I bring this to my work? Do I not? But I just feel like I have to, especially now that I'm a mother to a small baby. If this session was helpful in any way, I have a small request. If you could donate or gift back to any organization, but my recommendation is the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. We all know what's happening in Palestine. You can have your own political ideology, you can have your own religious ideology. For me, seeing the conditions of children, having been a teacher and now a mother, it's appalling and it's hard. So just whatever you can do, request is to keep talking about the genocide. And if you have the resources, also maybe donating it to funds that support children. Yeah, I don't want to say more because I don't want to go into a big rant, but yeah, that's a little request from all of you. Okay, with that, let's maybe put one word for the season ahead. I want to close with this. If you want to stay in touch, you can find me on Instagram at Pukraj Ranjan. Of course, on Substack, it's called Her Way Home. But if in the chat, everyone can drop one word that will guide them in this new season ahead, I would love to read it out loud for everybody. For me, the word is trust. I see intention. I see love. I see do it scared. Love it. Flourish. Yes. Slowness. Care. Beautiful. Amazing. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We still have 20 minutes, but I just wanted to give extra time. If anyone wants to stay back and have a chat, I'm here for 20 minutes. But otherwise, I wish everyone a lovely evening and a lovely season ahead, whatever that means for you. Thank you so much. And yeah, hope to see you in the community again.